We are the Records Revisited podcast. We're a podcast dedicated to the magic of music.
And I bet you're wondering, what's the Records Revisited podcast all about? Or about guest interviews like Caroline Spence and Doug Gillard.
We're about theme episodes like the Disappointment List and our most listened to songs of 2018.
And the essential 12 band songs, the 12 songs that capture the essence of whatever particular band.
But most of our episodes are album track-by-track analysis. And you're probably wondering, well, what do we do on the album analysis episodes? Well, we utilize our scientifically designed patent-pending scoring that completely captures the differences in our musical opinions.
And it wouldn't be an episode without the guests letting us know just how difficult that scoring can be.
So you're probably wondering, who are the hosts of Records Revisited podcast? I'm Ben.
And I'm Wayne.
And despite our differences, we have a number of things that are in common. For instance, we're 50-year-old dudes.
We each have 4 children.
We both love live music.
We both love the Seahawks. Go Hawks.
And we are self-proclaimed music nerds.
Guilty as charged. My favorite records are Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses, The Clash's London Calling, The Beastie Boys' Paul's Boutique, the debut from Van Halen, and Ice Cube's The Predator. I love 80s alternative, punk, hard rock, and alt country. My favorite t-shirts, my 1987 Licensed Ill tour shirt, the Get Off My Dick shirt, the 1992 GNR tour shirt with Metallica, and my Social D license plate shirt. You might hear the clickety-clack of my Jog Jet, and my favorite drink of choice, the Man on the Moon.
And speaking of Man on the Moon, one of my favorite records of all time is REM's Automatic for the People. I also love Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. I also love London Calling, very similar to Wayne. I also am a big fan of Neil Young's Harvest and U2's The Joshua Tree. Some of my favorite genres include Americana, 90s alternative, 80s new wave, alt country, and I love me some yacht rock. Some of my favorite shirts include my Nada Surf Let Go album cover t-shirt, the Foo Fighters Love Ride, and I also own a Social D license plate t-shirt. My dog's name, Cooper. You might hear him bark a time or two on these episodes. And my drink of choice, orange vanilla Coca-Cola.
And I don't know how you make it through some of these episodes without a shot.
Well, it's because we talk about good music, and we do that without being confined to genres. So we are all over the place as far as our musical tastes. We just recently did some episodes, including Weezer's Blue album, which really encapsulates the 90s alternative and college rock genres.
And classic rock with Led Zeppelin's debut, Escape by Journey, and Neil Young's Harvest.
And we also do a lot of Americana records, including John Prine's most recent, The Tree of Forgiveness. We also did episodes about Patty Griffin and Bruce Springsteen.
And 2000s modern pop and rock, that include the last new album I bought, Hot Fuss by The Killers.
And one band that Wayne and I can both agree on is recent Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, The Cure, because Wayne and I both love our 80s new wave and goth.
And our guests include the delightful Caroline Spence.
Guitarist Doug Gillard from Guided by Voices, Cobra Verde, and Nada Surf fame.
But not just musical guests, Ben's favorite living author, Jonathan Evison.
And former All-Star Major League Baseball pitcher and Pearl Jam lover, Bronson Arroyo, who joined us on our Pearl Jam 10 episode.
And our show has its fair share of inside jokes. At the beginning of every episode, we will ask each other, as well as our guests, what t-shirt are you wearing?
Don't be surprised if you hear a car clown horn sometime in our episodes. We try and stay PG-13 with our comments, but every so often an F-bomb gets dropped by our guests, or Wayne, and usually it's Wayne. And so in an effort to stay true to that PG-13, you might hear the horn in the final edit.
But your scores, you need to write them down and keep them in front of you because you don't want to pull a Netta. That's right, we've turned stand-up comedian Steve Netta into a verb.
So go check out Steve at the Steve Netta. We love you, Steve. But one of our biggest inside jokes is our Toto tracker. We've been asking all of our guests their opinion of Toto's Africa.
Not a good song.
Yeah, well, 80% of our guests would say otherwise.
Well, 10%, the good percent, would say that it's not.
And don't forget the other 10% that tell us, please don't ever play me that Weezer cover. So there you go. There's a little introduction of who the Records Revisited podcast is. We're available on iTunes, CastBox, Stitcher, and Podomatic.
You can follow us on Instagram at hashtag Records Revisited Podcast.
And we also have a Facebook page there at Records Revisited Podcast. And we are the Records Revisited Podcast, and we are
out.